Last year, the scale of harassment in wrestling was laid bare in a number of ways, and a lot of people realised for the first time the actual scale of harassment and abuse that most wrestlers have to deal with in their day-to-day lives. It's no wonder that so many wrestlers choose not to engage or are quick to press a block button whenever they see someone being rude towards them. While I've already had my say on the speaking out movement in a previous video, today on WTF Wrestling, I want to talk about the resurgence of abuse, harassment, stalking and predatory behaviour that is coming from people who claim to be fans. I'm Tom Colohue and this is WTF Wrestling. Near the middle of last year, before probably the biggest match of her career, Sonya Deville suffered a home invasion when returning home with her friend and future opponent at SummerSlam, Mandy Rose. This, unfortunately, was not completely out of nowhere. In the weeks and months preceding this, the individual who perpetrated it had been attempting to contact Sonya Deville repeatedly via social media in increasingly erratic and concerning language. Someone came into her home and laid in wait for her. Please imagine for a moment how that would feel to you as an individual coming home and knowing there was someone there who intended you harm. A lot of fans reacted in a lot of different ways to this news. One of the more prominent things that I saw on social media was, oh, Sonya Deville would be fine, she would beat him the hell up. That doesn't matter. Someone broke into her home. It's not going to be easy to ever feel safe again. While nobody supports the individual who did this, and the court case is still ongoing which will hopefully see him jailed for quite a long time, there was an argument as to what to refer to him as. Do you call this person a fan? The word originally derived from the word fanatic? Historically, this would have been accurate, but the word fan has moved on so much since then to be a much more relaxed tone. Do you call him stan, which has become a word for a more obsessive fan derived from the Eminem song, in which someone is so obsessed with Eminem that he verbally, physically and mentally abuses his partner to an insane degree? This is something that people choose to associate with. The impact that he had, unfortunately, was much more clear. Sonya Deville wrestled her match at SummerSlam and then vanished for a number of months. These are the days when that Thunderdome is a real negative, because if there had been fans in that building, the outpouring of support that she would have received would have been incredible. Forgotten in all of this was the fact that this isn't new. Though contextually different, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella did have two people invade their home. Daniel Bryan was able to subdue one of them and the other one was able to escape at the time. Sasha Banks received considerable abuse online because she wasn't willing to stop and sign autographs at 2 AM at an airport for people who were literally following her around and stalking her to find out where she was arriving. Alexa Bliss recently made public messages that she has been receiving from one particular Obsessive fan for a long time, accusing her husband-to-be of all sorts of things, none of which there is any evidence for, and saying that Alexa Bliss needed to marry him. Obsessive fandom has become cool, and I say that as someone who is in no way cool, because if you say the word cool, you're not cool. Obsessive fandom is something that is ingrained in culture now, with the concept of real fans and haters being basically all that people look to be. There is an idea in wrestling that's become increasingly popular and that makes me increasingly uncomfortable, that in order to be a fan of someone, you have to hate someone else, whether it be their opponent if you still believe it's a bit too real, or whether maybe it's someone who got an opportunity over that person, for whatever possible reason that may be, which we don't know. You also have to hate them loudly and publicly, either by quote tweeting them or directly tweeting at them so they definitely see how angry they make you. This, by the way, is abuse and harassment. On the flip side of this, there is the idea that you're not a real fan without at least a little bit of an obsession. Obsession here is a negative, by the way. The concept of real this or real that has become a serious problem. It is the stick that's used to beat people if they are, for example, a female gamer. I am a follower of the YouTube channel Eurogamer, and the amount of times their female helmed video team receives comments on YouTube videos saying, "You're not a real gamer, you can't be, you're a girl," is fucking horrendous. When even sub-communities of wrestling media are pitching themselves as for real wrestling fans, then we have to accept that this is ingrained in popular culture now. And there are a lot of people who are happily part of the problem. The entire world as a society is more divided than ever right now, with people clearly willing to ignore any facts that don't support their position, which means that people who are obsessive fans will not listen to reason, because why does anybody listen to reason anymore? Everyone just assumes that they're right. We see this with the current situation, with vaccines going out and so many people listening to that one guy Dave on Facebook who's telling you that they're planting a bug in you to track your life. Why? Why is your life so important that they need to plant a bug in you to track everything you do? Everyone who believes this, to me, screams guilty conscience. This comes through in wrestling with the aforementioned "you're either a real fan or a hater" mentality. It's not good enough. If someone is wrestling in a major promotion, it means that they are a heavily trained and highly experienced professional. Calling them trash because you like someone else more is abuse. Calling people out for not spending more time on you, a complete stranger, is abuse. There is such a thing as good critique, and there is such a thing as being a fucking idiot. The last time I went to a Raw and SmackDown taping, I was working on the same floor of the hotel as most of the wrestlers. As such, I encountered a lot of them and have a lot of stories from that time. Bray Wyatt, for example, asking me where the bus is and when they should be jumping on it to go down to the arena. I saw firsthand the reason that Sarah Logan was chosen to be in a Survivor Series team alongside Kairi Sane when there were potentially a number of other people it could have been. It actually does make sense, you just didn't know the reason was how close those two individuals actually were. I saw hundreds of people hovering at the entrance and hovering near the bus for a glimpse of Sasha Banks, and they all started screaming when she arrived. I also saw Daniel Bryan walk back and forth and nobody bat an eyelid. What I'm saying is, I've gotten to know wrestlers, and almost all of them that I've met, even briefly, have shown a real love for wrestling. And the reason that they have this love for wrestling is that they want to entertain, they want to perform, and they put their bodies on the line outside of a pandemic pretty much every single day to entertain fans. Obsessive fans are the ones who are asking to be paid attention to every single day. When they are outside of that ring, the character is gone. They are people, and they deserve respect at the very least. They are a person who owes you absolutely nothing. They don't want your harassment. They don't want to spend 4 hours signing autographs for people who stalked them. That's essentially offering a reward when you probably haven't slept in about 2 days. Finally, and it's really important to me that you hear this, they don't want your dick. I've been Tom Colohue. If you are new to this YouTube, please do remember to click subscribe, like if you can, and I will be hosting an Elimination Chamber watch party over on twitch.tv/Tom Colohue. I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for watching.